This is going to be a short video. I was in back-to-back travel and I still have some business travels to make, but I did want to squeeze this video out. This is going to be a short one. Today, I've got the 6500 black dial stainless steel Rolex Daytona. There's a whole video on the channel when I've got this watch. I waited for a very long time to get this watch. Happy that it was in. With this black turtleneck, feeling the European winterish vibe. I was actually in Europe. I was in Portugal. If you've not been to Portugal, man, it's uphill, downhill. You literally feel like you're working out, even though that's not the intention. And as I'm walking around, I see the Omega boutique. I was like, all right, I've got no business here, but let me go check out those colored dial AQUA. I mean, you know, no one saw them. Where are they? Omega continues to keep these colored dial AQUA as the industry best kept secret. They were announced like a year ago. And this is...
Well, they said we will receive it in January, but
no one can find them. Not because of demand. You go to any boutique, they're just simply not selling them. And to this date, you can't find them in any boutique. Why is no one getting them? I'm not really sure what's the logic for that strategy, or if it's even a strategy. I mean, Omega really needs to kind of, you know, run quicker here and release these watches. You want to get it out to the market before it's too late. And not only Omega, right? So right next to it, there was the Rolex store. I went in because I saw the deep sea on display, right? So the thickness is this mockery of a deep sea. I had to step in and see it. I don't know who's gonna wear that watch. Even their own sales rep don't believe in it. I mean, look at this thing. This is a watch you take and you just put it at home and look at it.
Yeah, I think just maybe a few people can use that, you know, maybe an NBA player or something like that, you know.
Not even an NBA. This is good. Like, I get the part that Rolex is trying to play with different metals, titanium, great, I understand that, but at least make it wearable. Now, while all of this was going on, of course, there was a Patek Philippe boutique as well, and I went fishing for the 5226G Calatrava. I mean, if you hide the brand's name and look at this watch, you'll think it's just a cool watch, nothing special. But how could a historical brand like Patek Philippe use a brand new design language on a watch and still make it read their own instantaneously? I mean, even if the brand name wasn't mentioned, you'd guess that it's a Patek Philippe. I really like this watch and I want to get it. Patek Philippe introduced this 5226G at Watches and Wonders 2021, which I had the privilege to attend for the first time in my life, and the minute I saw them, I knew these new Calatravas were going to be a hit. Refresh aesthetics on this classic Calatrava case, and applied Arabic numerals, a lacquered charcoal gray dial with textured finish, and a beige loop. What else could you want more? I mean, what can I tell you, man? I wouldn't have thought in a million years that this type of dial would be an absolute kicker on a classic watch, on a Calatrava. Only Patek Philippe can do this type of stuff, and this is the stuff that actually excites me. It's not your Nautilus, your AQUA, the stuff we already know. It's these new iterations, this new combination of vintage inspired watches plus modern plus playfulness, right? That is really, really exciting, especially when Patek Philippe does that. What they've done with the 5212, for example, and that playful font they had over there, even though the dial still felt like a Patek dial, right? On the 6119 Calatravas, both the G and the R is just strictly classic. And now we've got this 5226G. Is both classic, modern, and fun at the same time. I mean, I think it'll even get more eyeballs than the 5326G, which is the annual travel time version of the watch. Same lacquered dial, same everything, is just with a complication. So of course, with Patek Philippe, you want to go the complication route, but I think this 5226G will even get more attention. I mean, it does speak the language of a pilot aesthetic watch. I'm not really sure if it's the simpler format or the thinner case when compared to the 5326G. A lot of people, of course, would turn to Patek for complications, but the 5226, once again, will get more eyeball because I feel it's more authentic to the Calatrava, and that's kind of like the connection here. That's why when you look at this watch, you would immediately associate it with a Calatrava lineup, even if the brand name was covered. I absolutely love it, and I think they've done really well. I think this is the one that is going to get more hype. And what's also more interesting about this 5226G is that it isn't referencing any specific Calatrava. The textured dial surrounded by gradient black minute track and this beige loom, man. I mean, I'm a sucker for loom, but this adds a lot more to it. It adds more character, it adds to its playfulness, it kind of adds to its toolishness. Toolishness, can you Can you say, I mean, tool look is what I'm trying to say, right? And I really like that. Technically speaking, this 5226G is placed in a 40mm case, standing tall at 8.53mm. It's got a sapphire case back placed on top and around the back. Inside, of course, is the self-winding caliber 26330SC, a fairly recent time and date movement that had replaced in 2019 the caliber 324 that is inside the Nautilus 5711. How about that for a fact? Patek Philippe says this is a highly contemporary styled watch. I think it's the new definition of modern vintage watches. You get these 6119 looking Calatravas and everything behind that, and that's what we know for vintage inspired. I feel like this is the new vintage inspired. This is the new definition of it. And who knows, maybe we will see these combined configurations, this modern vintage inspired looking watches from other brands as well. And maybe they'll do it better. I'm not really sure.
But the value and it is different.
Yes.
But Lange, who has Lange is the people who love it.
Yeah.
Watchmaking.
I associate.
And also at the time they produced like 5,000 watches per year. I don't know if I think they decreased the production, so I think probably now they are doing 3,000.
I absolutely love this watch. I can't wait to get mine. I feel like this AD, it was just connection, right? Because I went in talking about this watch, and then the conversation kind of drifted in other areas. We talked about Lange and Vacheron and so many other brands and so many people that I know in person that actually shop at this boutique. And it was just a great conversation. And that kind of cemented the feeling that, you know, maybe, just maybe, they'll look after me when it comes to this request. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to go through them. What do you think about this 5226G Calatrava? I actually think it's gonna be a hit. I wanna get one, but I would love to go through your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.